Hey guys, my name is Nils. Um, I work at strandrover.agency, and my topic for the quick lightning talk on JekyllConf 2016 will be our project that we did for a client in Singapore last year. Um, Client's name is Zalora, and they had the desperate need of a comprehensive style guide slash web component library, and we ended up realizing that in Jekyll, together with a gem called Hologram. And I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how this works. So let's jump right in. Okay, so this is the aforementioned style guide that we ended up with. Um, you can actually see this publicly if you want to check it out on styleguide.zalora.com. They were proud enough of their brand to just have it public. I kind of like that. So, but to jump right in, like the idea is to have one site that actually covers topics on the corporate identity, like regular stuff. This is our logo. We have a white and black version. Um, this is with the URL without all these stuff. Colors, kind of with the SAS variables and so on. And these are regular Jekyll pages written in Markdown for easy maintainability, also for non-coding people. And then for the front-end folks at Zalora, and we wanted to have everything in one place. For the front-end folks, they wanted to be able to document certain web components, stuff that repeats itself throughout all the web frontends they have, directly in CSS code, and so they wouldn't have to kind of write a new component in CSS and then go somewhere else to manually document this in Markdown, for example, in a Jekyll site. So what we did was there's this neat gem that's called Hologram, and Hologram scans through CSS files and goes looking for these very specific code comments in here. So hologram comment basically consists of this tiny piece that looks like front matter in Jekyll. You get to fill a couple of variables. Categories are basically different HTML files that get rendered in the end. So if you would have categories of buttons, alerts, layout modules or something, you would end up having 3 different HTML files named exactly this. And then you have this tiny section here, which is just a regular markdown code block, and it contains the piece of markup that front-end devs would just copy-paste into their projects with the corresponding classes to know how to use the global styles that you defined earlier. So let's jump right in. The way this works is we have a gulp file, and the first task that it does on re-rendering is it runs hologram rebuild here, goes looking for all the config files. In our case, we actually have 3 runs, and I'm just going to show you the desktop one as an example. So we tell hologram to go looking for the SCSS files in this folder. That would be here assets and then these individual partials. So hologram can handle SAS code and doesn't have to be compiled to CSS before. And then we tell it the destination. So it will go looking for these partials. As you can see, we have these code comments as expected by hologram, with this tiny piece of front matter. There's a category, we call it buttons. So we end up with an HTML page that covers all the buttons. And then we have code comments here, which are basically going to be rendered like this here. So this example here is a code example that got pulled out of the CSS code comment by hologram and rendered into this HTML element. So we run hologram through gulp, and hologram we'll add these HTML files here with this tiny piece of front matter for our Jekyll site. And afterwards, after the hologram run, we run Jekyll, which then in turn will pick up these HTML files and all the rest of the files, like for example these markdown files that define the colors page in our style guide, and all of this together will make up the site. So what you get out of it is that front-end people can document their own web components just directly in their CSS files that they're used to anyway. And we get to have the flexibility of also adding other pages rather than self-documenting web component pages, but something like markdown pages. We get to add these side by side into the same site, which is kind of nice. So we have one resource at Zalora for all the different members of teams that work somehow on the web front end of the website. Yeah, that's all I wanted to show you today. Hope this helps someone out there, and have fun with the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.